Hello. Today I'm going to explain and give examples of why I believe that you should learn sign language. In my case, American Sign Language, as there is a different type of sign language in almost every country. First, in order to understand why knowing sign language is a very valuable asset in life, you must really understand what it means to be deaf. There are 4 levels of hearing loss: mild, moderate, severe, and profound. Hard of hearing is ranged from mild to severe, and deaf people have profound hearing, which either means that they have little to no hearing at all. Worldwide, there are approximately 466 million people who are deaf or hard of hearing, with around 34 million of those people being children. There are additionally around 1.1 billion people between the ages of 12 to 35 who are at risk of hearing loss for numerous reasons. Causes of hearing loss can be congenital, which means that it has happened either during the pregnancy or occurred immediately afterward. Hearing loss can also be acquired from things such as meningitis, ear infections, head injuries, excessive noise, which are loud noises that have occurred for a continuous period of time, and other diseases. One of the biggest struggles of being either hard of hearing or deaf is that it is hard for them to communicate with hearing people, and they are often excluded from everyday events because they are not able to communicate with others, and being left out of everyday events can stir negative feelings inside of them, such as loneliness, anger, and frustration. But people who learn how to sign it tends to make them feel better because you're going out of your way to learn their language and make them feel included and learn their culture. And other benefits of it are long-term cognitive effects, but that's primarily when you start signing when you're an infant. And according to a research project, people who start signing early are more likely to develop a higher IQ and have heightened reasoning skills, and this was a 20-year-long study. And by learning American Sign Language or any type of sign language, you open up your eyes to the world of the deaf culture, which you will find is unique from all others. And it's also possible that half of hard of hearing cases could have been prevented through public health measures. In children under the age of 15, it is believed that 60% of hearing loss could have been prevented by various modes such as vaccinations, paying closer to ear infections that could have been caused by things as simple as tonsillitis, where the child did not receive medication that they needed soon enough. And when hearing people learn to sign, it also helps the community as a whole, such as like in your work environment, when there are people who need interpreters that are either deaf or hard of hearing, and sometimes they are not available or something has happened. It's good to have people who just know, and it's not a hassle having to have a middle person help you. And it is very good to learn languages either way, although it's not as accepted as a language by everyone. It's not as encouraged as other languages such as Spanish, French, Chinese, other things like that. A bad thing about signing, which I don't usually say, is that sometimes when people are signing on the street or even just in their yard, anywhere like that, they sometimes get mistaken for gang members who are throwing up gang signs, and sometimes they're either shot or stabbed. Most of the time, it is actually by the police. In fact, more than 1,000 cases occur yearly where the police are shooting someone who is signing because they believe that the person who is signing is dangerous and that they are throwing up gang signs, because they don't take the time to analyze what the deaf or hard of hearing person is doing. Or it could be a hearing person who's signing and they don't even take the time to ask them. They just shoot on sight, which is very common, or if a gang member sees them. But that is the only bad thing that I could say about signing. It's very interesting, it helps people. It is a very interesting culture, and learning sign language is known to bring people together.